Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Today we have some interesting news coming from the SEC and Gary Gensler, but we also have some exciting news regarding Limewire, which if you are a follower and subscriber of this channel, you'll know that we have been absolutely excited and ecstatic for this project to go live. It has been a long term coming. We knew about the project back in 2022 and it's finally going live on exchanges. So stick around to the end of today's video. I'm going to chat a little bit more about Limewire. But first things first, let's get into the prices of crypto. So over the past 24 hours, we really haven't seen much movement in terms of the price. Bitcoin currently sitting at 27,200. Not literally any movement. It's literally went down 0.6%, which in the grand scheme of things isn't anything really. Ethereum sitting at 1,823. That's again down 0.3%. BNB sitting at $313. XRP at 42 cents. Cardano 36 cents. Dogecoin at 0.07 cents. Solana at $21. And then Polygon at 86 cents. So like I said, really no much movement across the top 10 that over the last kind of 24 hours, about a percentage drop overall. So nothing to be concerned about overall on today's market. Now, the first few articles that I want to cover are regarding our beloved SEC, our protectors in crypto of the SEC. They have been having a bit of an ongoing issue with Coinbase. Again, if you've been watching these Coffee and Cryptos the past few weeks, you will know I've been covering quite a lot of info on Coinbase regards to the regulatory stuff in the US. And there's a bit of kind of an update, shall we say, for this. Gary Gensler, the chairman, has piped up again and just has been doing what Gary Gensler does. Anyway, less from me, more from these. Now, the first tweet I wanted to show you was the SEC says that crypto regulatory clarity may take years and they're in no rush. Again, I actually tweeted something yesterday on the page. I'll see if I can open it up. Is it going to let me? I don't even know. No, it's not going to let me. But it was a retweet that I'd put up saying how very bear market of this article. And essentially it was something similar to this where they were cracking down on crypto and there was a major crackdown on crypto and everyone's getting involved on the anti-crypto legislation or whatever it was. This is something that you see in bear markets. It's a good sign. It tends to kind of mark we're getting to near the bottom of the bear market. When things get proper, like scary, in the sense that the news is all about anti-crypto, crypto's going to zero, it's getting banned, China has banned crypto, or the US has banned crypto. All these points are typical in bear markets. So again, if you've been around for a few years, you'll know this. The news articles do float around. When the crypto prices are up and they're great and everyone's loving it or they're going up, it's all positive, everyone's adopting it. But when it's down and it's been down, everyone's banning it. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. But that's why you need to kind of keep your head straight, keep thinking forward, and not letting the news affect you too much. But yeah, essentially we're starting to see a lot of crackdowns and anti-crypto things come out of the US now. It has been happening in the past few months, to be honest, but we're really kind of seeing it turned up a little bit. And the next article, like I said, is from Gary Gensler, and that just kind of proves my point a little bit. So the headline then, so SEC Gary Gensler claps back at Coinbase and says that the crypto rules already exist. So he's just playing a game. Quite clearly they don't exist. That's kind of the whole point of everything that he's doing. So the part I wanted to read here. So in May 15th, a keynote speech at the Financial Markets Conference, Gensler was asked about the dispute with Coinbase, the rules on crypto, and why the SEC doesn't publish rules for the market. In response, Gensler staunchly asserted that rules have already been published, adding that to make it quite direct, this is a field that has been operating largely non-compliant. There's nothing about a new technology that makes it non-consistent with the public policies that Congress has laid out. So Gensler argued that the SEC has already put out the rules for what is required to custody assets to an exchange, be an exchange, or broker-dealer or advisor, and how to register securities offerings with the agency. So it's just a typical Gary Gensler statement. He's not really answering it, really. He's just kind of defending himself. But this part here as well then, so he's also quoted the SEC, this part here, sorry, my bad. The SEC chair's current view is that most crypto assets, apart from Bitcoin, fall under the securities definition of an investment contract. He quotes, "If the public is investing money and anticipating profit based upon the efforts of others in a common enterprise, that's a security." He then adds, "There's financial intermediaries, nodes in the network, and they need to come into compliance if they've got securities on their platform." So essentially, everything in crypto is a security based on Gary Gensler. And if you're investing in something hoping that the price goes up, then it's a security. And it also says based on the efforts of others. Well, the thing with crypto is a lot of these projects are actual legit companies, and like Ripple, for example, let's take that for the perfect example. It's a company with a Ripple, have a project called XRP. XRP is a crypto token that people invest in. They don't invest in Ripple. They don't invest in what Ripple will do with the company or anything. They invest in what XRP can do. So it's a little bit different because you're not really expecting it to grow based on what others think. Now, don't get me wrong, crypto does seem to have a little bit of the mentality of if everyone gets involved, the more money flows in and the price goes up. That's kind of also how stocks work sometimes as well. Like if a stock price, if a company has a stock, people invest millions of pounds in that stock, it starts to gain traction, people get interested thinking, all right, well, maybe if they're investing lots of money, that means that it's probably a good project, like a good company. The price of that stock will probably go up, so I'm going to invest in it. So I can get some of the differences between security assets and non-securities and crypto versus stocks and the differences in that. But when you boil it down, it is a very, very same kind of way that people invest as investors in stocks or investors in crypto. You kind of invest in a project because everyone thinks, well, this is a great project. You've heard great things about it. It's gained a lot of traction. So you put your own money in hoping the price goes up because as an investor, you want to buy low, sell high, invest money, make money, and so on and so forth. But yeah, anyway, Gary Gensler, the horrible man that he is. Look at him in this picture. What a horrible, horrible man. And yeah, he's just doing what Gary Gensler does. And this is why the meme coin Gary Gensler or Good Gensler was started, just because of how much of like a villain that Gensler is and how much he's just against crypto and just making crypto such an awkward place for some people. So that meme coin, again, it's a meme coin. It's not supposed to be a real project. It's not supposed to be a security, not a security, a real project, have any founders, anything. It's just a total meme of Gary Gensler for people to try and make money off the back of him just being annoying. So yeah, it's frustrating, but yeah, all we can do is sit back, relax, and wait, I guess, for prices to go up and this type of news to kind of fade away slightly. Now, the other part of the SEC stuff then was Paul Grewal then. So he's a chief legal officer at Coinbase. I've spoken about him a few times on the channel, but he has tweeted because the SEC has replied to Coinbase. So again, you remember I was chatting about the Coinbase had submitted an application or a form back in like November or something, and they had heard nothing from the SEC. So legally, they were able to request some sort of, answer from the SEC, and the SEC have finally said something. So this tweet, I'll read through a few of them because I find it quite interesting. But Paul Grewal has tweeted here regarding the response from the SEC. So this was May 16th, which was today. Today UK time, or last night UK time, but today in the US. Now, today the SEC responded to Coinbase's petition for a writ of the mandamus, asking the court to require the SEC to respond just yes or no to whether it will undertake rulemaking for our industry. The SEC's answer, a resounding maybe. So they didn't say yes, didn't say no, they said, well, maybe. Typical. So, today's filing may be the first time the SEC has formally explained in a court its view on whether and how the SEC should create rules for the crypto industry. The SEC told the court that the rulemaking may take years and there are no rush. The SEC acknowledged that it will continue to use enforcement actions as a substitute for rulemaking for the foreseeable future, but not to worry, those enforcement actions may eventually inform not yet planned rulemaking. The SEC also said that the public statements by Chair Gensler are not formal guidance or policy statements from the SEC, and the public cannot rely on them as such. Overall, the SEC's response reinforces Coinbase's long-standing concern that our industry does not have clarity on what the SEC may consider to be within or outside its jurisdiction at any time, and it's unlikely to continue changing its mind along the way. We look forward to the opportunity to reply formally next week, and as always, we continue to appreciate the court's careful consideration. Now, it's pretty frustrating, the fact that the SEC aren't wanting to take this serious, in a sense that they're probably loving the fact that they can just cause all this upset in crypto, because that's what they're doing. You've seen a lot of companies, I covered it yesterday, that Binance have left Canada as well. That's not to do with the SEC per se, but it's to do with regulatory stuff. But the SEC are just loving the fact that crypto is in such a kind of bit unsure territory. A lot of companies are closing down in the US, or they're unsure if they want to trade in the US. And the SEC are kind of, well, we know this, they're not doing themselves any favour. They're not doing their country any favour. They're doing the US a kind of shortfall by being so awkward. But yeah, I feel like they're kind of just laughing it up. They're just enjoying the fact that they are showing that they have some sort of control. Again, because it's a government thing, they're showing that they have some sort of control over these markets. And I guess it's proving, because people are getting stressed out about it. People aren't sure if they want to invest in the US because of this. And, well, the SEC just seem to take people to court and make money anyway. So regardless of what happens in crypto, the SEC make money. So, yeah, not only do the SEC make money from taking people to court and getting fines and stuff, the SEC are a government body, so the government are also getting paid taxes for capital gains and whatnot in America. So, yeah, it pays to be the government, the biggest kind of gangsters out there, I guess. They're winning, and unfortunately crypto is just not... Crypto's still winning, don't get me wrong. This isn't, crypto's over or whatever. I'm just saying that how the sentiment is with people's mindsets, that people would just love there to be a yes or a no, so that we can then act on that. And crypto will still thrive, and crypto will still grow, whether it's a yes or a no. It will just mean that it actually can pick up the pace and continue to grow. So, yeah, they're in no rush. Obviously, they're not going to be in any rush. They're loving it. They're still making money. They're a business. They're still making money. Who cares? Basically, is what their motto must be. But yeah, anyway, they've responded finally to the Coinbase stuff, but they haven't really given an answer. So typical SEC and typical Gensler. Okay, so next then is about Tether. So Tether's obviously, or USDC, USDT, all the stablecoins have recently been a topic of discussion, especially with the Luna stuff last year, obviously kind of going to zero, and then USDC had a bit of a kind of tremor during 2023, I think it was a few months ago, and so there's always a topic or a talking point of stablecoins. My belief is that Tether is one of the strongest, and this kind of article is just reconfirming that. So the article's just out today, and it says here that Tether boasts of its financial stability after strong profits, and money has been moved out of banks. So, stablecoin operator Tether Holdings pulled out over $4.5 billion out of banks in the first quarter of 2023, causing a substantial reduction in its counterparty risk. The company reported in a post touting in its latest attestation by BDO Italia. Now, Tether's market capitalization grew from $66 billion to over $82 billion in the first quarter, while Tether shed over 90% of its bank deposits, bringing it down to from 5.3 billion to 481 million. Now, Tether said that the remaining bank deposits are spread out among several banks, referring to its competitors that suffered losses after recent bank failures. Again, this was a big topic with the three major kind of banks like Silver, the Silver Bank. What was the three banks that went down again? I can't even remember. There was three banks. They were all crypto related or crypto friendly banks, and a lot of stablecoins held reserves in these banks, and well, they lost some of them. Tether had some as well, actually, but that's what that part of the article is kind of pointing out, that some, or the reason they're taking all the money out of banks is because of the banking failures, and they don't want that to happen again, because when that happened, everyone was challenging stablecoins and questioning why stablecoins are holding money in banks and yada yada yada. I went on quite a bit, but yeah, anyway. Simultaneously, Tether boosted its United States Treasury bills to a new high over $53 billion, or 64% of its reserves. Combined with other assets, Tether's USD token is now backed by 85% cash equivalents, and short-term deposits that can be sold rapidly to process redemptions. Essentially, if we see a bank run or a crypto run where everyone's rushing to get all their Tether out the bank, they can rapidly sell and provide the liquidity for that. That includes over $7.5 billion in repo facilities, and in addition, decade-high yield rates drive revenues up, increasing Tether's surplus reserves, effectively over-collateralizing USDT. So, another important reason why I want to cover this article is because I hold, and I know most of you watching this and members of our community hold Tether in yield on SwissBorg normally to gain a bit of extra money from your Tether. And I just wanted to kind of back up and show you that Tether is in the news with positive news saying that they're up. They've made profits, they've took money out of the bank, they have 85% money in cash, and they can kind of hopefully sustain a bank run if it was ever to happen, which I don't see why it would happen. Tether revealed its holdings of gold and Bitcoin in this quarter's attestation for the first time in a show of its commitment for transparency. It emphasised its financial attainment in the quarter compared with other companies, naming BlackRock, Netflix, Starbucks, Cash App, and PayPal as companies whose profits it exceeded. So, Tether is saying that it exceeded the profits of these companies here, which is pretty mind-blowing, to be honest, because we all know that Starbucks costs an absolute fortune. You're paying £4, £5, or $6, $7, whatever you want to call it, for some hot water and some coffee beans. The profit margin on coffee is ridiculous. I would imagine a coffee from Starbucks, probably cost price to them is like 3 pence, 5 pence, and they're charging £4 or £5 for it. So yeah, so the write up on coffee is ridiculous. So yeah, you would think their profits would be through the roof, but Tether is boasting and saying that they made more. So very, very interesting. Now, Tether has been striving for months to improve its financial indicators and has been taking pains to highlight its successes. So it announced in June that it would be reducing the commercial paper in its reserves from $20 billion to $8.4 billion by the end of that month, and had to zero by its year's end. And it reached that goal successfully. So, yeah, pretty good news, pretty interesting news, and positive news from Tether, and for anyone holding Tether or yielding Tether or planning to use and yield Tether in the future. Yeah, I would say fairly positive, and makes me happy the fact that I've got Tether yielding. It kind of brings that little bit of a comfort of the token. Now, last but not least, as I said at the start of the video, stick around to the end and we're going to speak about Limewire, which I know a lot of people are absolutely buzzing about. Limewire was trending globally on Twitter last night in the business and finance sector, and yeah, it's gained a lot of traction. There's a lot of hype for it. So yeah, it's finally going live. So the timeline here, you'll be familiar with this. I've showed it so many times, but May 16th, which is today, it goes live on 4 major exchanges, which is exciting news. So if I just bring up their Twitter page, there we go. So yeah, first of all, the Twitter page is absolutely super active, 141,000 followers, really good project. Joined in February 2011, which is insane because that's kind of when the original Limewire closed down. But obviously they've bought the branding rights and they've trademarked it and whatnot. So Limewire we see now isn't the same Limewire we seen then, but it is the same branding, trademarks, names, all that stuff. So in a sense, it is the exact same. You just can't go downloading some pirate music on it anymore, which is maybe a good thing. But for anyone that watched or used Limewire back in the early 2000s will know exactly what I mean. So they are now live, so deposits are now live on crypto.com. They're also getting listed on gate.io. What else have they said here? So withdrawals are active. They had a bit of a backlog yesterday, just because everyone was trying to withdraw from the Limewire website to an exchange because they weren't live until today, but a lot of exchanges were letting you deposits in anticipation of today. So yeah, they had a bit of a backlog, but they are back and everything seems to be fine. So Kraken are also listing them. You can get them on Trust Wallet. You can have them on MetaMask. Like, there is just so much going on with this project. KuCoin, which I know a lot of people are using in our community, they're using their KuCoin account to send over the Limewire tokens. But yeah, it's the hype is real. BYBIT also are actually launching it. But yeah, the hype is absolutely real with Limewire. Now, I've seen a lot of people tweet or a lot of people comment in chat about wanting to sell it on today, basically on a pump. I will not be doing that. If you want my opinion, I definitely won't be doing that. I know there's definitely money to be made or potentially money to be made that way, but it's not how I am as an investor. I don't like to sell it as soon as it goes public. And the reason for that, right, I'll tell you 2 things. The reason for that is I don't really like just joining in the hype. I feel quite dirty doing that to a project. Not that it matters. The project don't care if I sell it on day of listing or 2 years down the line. But for me, mentality-wise and how I kind of work my investments, I invest in something. I'm quite particular with how I pick my investments normally. So I usually pick an investment thinking it's going to be over a year or 2 or whatever it may be. And I'm also here for the big gains. I'm not here for a kind of, I don't know, like a 2x, 3x, 4x on launch day. I'm here for a 10x, 100x that will come in the bull run. So I'm patient. Patience pays, as we always say. So that's one part of it. I'm just holding. I've bought it. I've gotten it at the public sale. Therefore, I've bought it cheap. And I'm happy to wait for it to go to whatever it goes to in the bull run. There's no real rush for that money. But also I guess that's kind of the other point as well, where the bigger prices come in the bull run. Just because it does a 2 or 3x doesn't mean that it's not going to do a 10x in the bull run. And it just makes more sense for me as an investor to buy super low and sell as high as possible for me to gain as much money. Don't get me wrong, you could trade it, you could get it for the public sale, sell it for $1, buy back at 50 cents, whatever it may be, that's up to you. If you want to spot trade it, that's by all means be my guest. But the other thing I wanted to mention was you get it for the public sale price, right? I think the public sale was it 20 cents or 30 cents or something? I can't quite remember, but you get it for that public sale price. And as soon as it goes live, it goes to $1. You sell it, you've gained your profit, fantastic. But then it never goes below $1 and it only continues to rise. So realistically, have you made that great amount of profit? Like, have you really profited from that project? Yes, you made an initial, like 3x or whatever it may be on your couple of £1,000 or a couple of thousand tokens, whatever it is, but you're never going to be able to buy it back for the price that you bought it for. So is it all that beneficial to do it that way? I don't know. It's something that you as an investor need to decide. It's not something that I would do personally. And I think it's just a mentality thing for me. I have a thing where if I bought a crypto super, super low, I really don't like to sell it all, or I really don't want to sell it until it's super high and I know that it's super high. Prime example, back in 2020 when I bought Bitcoin at like $4,000, I sold that in February 2021 at $58,000. Now, did I think it would go higher? Yes, but was I happy at the fact that I bought it for $4,000 and sold it for $58,000 and profited that large amount from those Bitcoin? Yes, obviously. But at the same time, I was kind of upset at the fact that I would never be able to then buy that same Bitcoin back at that price. Does that make sense? Now, don't get me wrong, I still have some from that price, or from that era, shall we say, on a ledger that I'll never really, I say I'll never sell it. It's like it's more like what would you call that? Like a gift, like a you get from a gift shop, like something that's sentimental. That's it. So I've got Bitcoin that I've bought for $4,000, $5,000. I think at the time my average buy was like $7,000 on all of them, but I've got some locked away that is more sentimental value than the monetary or the dollar value. That will probably never sell, maybe when I'm really, really old. But yeah, and it kind of goes the same with some of these projects. It's almost like you get in at the public sale, you get in at a very, very, very cheap price. It will never be that cheap again. So why not just hold on until it goes to whatever it goes to in the bull market? $2, $3, $5, $10. I don't really know what Limewire can do, to be honest. It's a huge project. It's got huge backing. There's big names backing it. If I just show you this as well. So they've got, where is it? This part here. Kraken Ventures, SwissBorg Ventures, Deadmau5 is involved, Crypto.com Capital, like all these big names that are behind the project and investing in the project. The private sale raised, as you can see here, $17.7 million. They've got massive amounts of influencer backing as well, and people chatting about them online. It's the name Limewire. Everyone over the age of 20, or maybe, probably 20, 25, will know what this was and what this meant to you back in the day. So it's a huge project. So I think in the bull run, it's going to do really, really well. Obviously, no financial advice, but it's just my opinion. But that's my opinion on it. I know a lot of people want to sell today and try and make money today. You do what you think is best for yourself as an investor. It's not what I want to do personally. But yeah, I thought I'd just share my mindset on it, share my plans on it, and hopefully it helps you with your day to day, because it goes live, I think it's 1 p.m. That it will all be all the activity will be. So it's about to be a crazy day for Limewire, and congrats to the team, obviously, because it's been a very, very, very well executed launch. This has been around since June 2022, I think. I think it was about that time last year, and they've been working on it. And yeah, we again, if you followed us on Instagram for a while, we posted about it back last summer. But yeah, it's been one of the best come-ups of a project launch I've seen in a while. And yeah, good luck to the team, good luck to anyone holding it. I hope everyone the best, and let's see what Limewire can do today. On that note, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Of course, if you haven't already, please like today's video. It really, really helps the channel and helps me come in here every single day to the office and bring these videos. I aim to bring them, I don't aim to bring them, I definitely do bring them every single morning, Monday to Friday. And hopefully you enjoy them. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like the video, drop me a comment if you're watching this back. And I look forward to tomorrow's live stream. And thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Don. I will see you all